Welcome to Horror Movies and Beyond, where we review horror movies for the living to understand the dead. I'm your host, Ivotres Littles. Today I'm joined by Tim Murdock and Matt Emert of Happy Horror Time podcast, and we are going to discuss the 2006 horror slasher Black Christmas. Welcome.
Hi, thanks for having us.
Hello.
Do we look the part?
Yes. Yes, you do. Thank you for coming on here. I reached out to you guys and I was like, I have to have them on my show to talk about a movie. And you guys picked out of a small selection Black Christmas. Never seen it before, so this was my first time.
Really?
Wow, I can't wait to hear what you think.
Wait, have you seen the original, the 1974 one?
Yeah, I did watch the original before this one because I was like, I have to know the compare and contrast kind of thing. Like, is this good? Because I've heard a lot of things about the 2006 that people's opinions. So I had to see, and then I did watch
And
it.
in 2019, did you see that one?
I didn't see that.
It's okay. I think you could skip that one. You know, it's funny. The 1974 one is a classic. It's like one of my favorite slashers of all time.
Mm-hmm.
And the 2006 one is just kind of a fun entry. It's very different.
It is. It's gross, but I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I can't wait to hear what
no.
you think. No, we have heard all sorts of opinions on it. And but I think it's a movie that Tim and I watch every year.
Yeah, I think I've seen it every year since it came out in 2006. And I think I saw it like 4 or 5 times in the theater.
I mean, that's a lot. That's a lot.
It was a slow December.
It's about on Christmas Eve. An escaped maniac returns to his childhood home, which is now a sorority house, and begins to murder the sorority sisters one by one. Yes. So this was a remake of the 1974 version.
Yeah. And you know what's funny is that, like, apparently, so we were lucky enough to, on Happy Horror Time, we got to interview the writer-director, Glenn Morgan. So we got a little insight into the 2006 one. And apparently he had wanted to take the 1974 movie and kind of go back into the past and of Billy and Agnes, because in the original, if you remember, like, they're mentioned in those crazy phone calls, but you never learn anything about him. So he wanted to give like a backstory to those characters, and boy, did he give a backstory to him.
And he was very lucky. Bob Clark gave him his original script, and I just think that's so cool. That little tidbit.
Yeah, he was on board for it. But it is a very different movie than the original because there is a lot more violence. But what he told us was that he didn't want it to be as gory and ridiculous as it turned out, that the Weinstein brothers really pushed for more blood, more gore, and like forced his hand.
And that totally tracks.
Well, it still won't change my mind on how I felt.
Give me one sentence review.
What the hell?
I can totally see why you'd say that.
Well, we're about to get in it. But before we get into that, I want you to tell the audience, briefly about you guys itself. Like, a little bit more of Happy Horror Time.
So Happy Horror Time, it's a weekly podcast that Tim and I co-host. It's been going on for over 4 years now.
Which is crazy.
Yeah, we switch off between reviewing new horror films and interviewing stars and filmmakers from horror movies of the past. And, we've talked to people ranging from like first-time horror filmmakers to even like big names in horror like Kevin Williamson or Devon Sawa. So we try to get a variety of people, and we just talk all about their careers in horror, and we also talk about all the new releases.
And if you've ever listened to even one episode of ours, you would know that Matt loves Halloween, I love Friday the 13th, and we always fight about it, but it's all in good fun. I mean, I love Halloween.
Yes, Ivotres, what is if you had to pick between the original Halloween and the original Friday the 13th, which one is your favorite? And just know that this answer has repercussions.
Right, like the movie Saw.
Okay, wait. Now, I have to, one or the other, but the first ones.
Oh, yes, right? The original 1978 Halloween or the original 1980 Friday the 13th. Which do you like better?
This is going to be tough because it's neither.
Oh!
Whoa, my hat's falling off.
What? Now I'm dying to know.
Wait, now you
What's
gotta.
yours?
Please explain.
Yeah, neither. I have to say the number one for the Halloween franchise is Halloween H2O.
That's a great film.
Okay.
Yeah, and then for Friday the 13th is part 3.
Oh, that's my favorite.
Tim loves that
3D.
Yes. Wow, we just did an episode about part 3 that we released on Friday the 13th, and that is so funny that you mentioned that because Tim loves that.
I do. I know that one inside and out.
Don't get us wrong, we love H2O too, but for me, the original is just so incredible.
I mean, it's good, but it's not my favorite of the franchise. Like, if I had to pick, I just can't pick because it's neither of them.
Watched it when I was like 9.
Yeah, you're talking to two people who watched a lot of VHSs too. We ain't no youngins either.
Yeah, I'm not 23 anymore.
Trust me, we are 23.
Okay. Without saying ages, what was the number one movie, or not the number one, like at the box office, but what movie came out at the year?
Star Wars.
Mine was.
Wait, what? Star Wars.
Yeah.
She's like, how old are you?
1977. I'm 47.
Finally, someone older than me.
It's your Christmas dream.
The movie that came out when Tim was born was Charlie Chaplin.
That's right. It wasn't a talkie.
Can you imagine? No. Mine was the original Amityville Horror. I was born in 79. I'm 45.
Finally, they're both older than me.
Oh,
see? I knew you were younger than us. I knew it. I could feel it. Yeah.
Not that much though, but still. Mine was oh my goodness. It is Friday the 13th.
Oh, 1980?
Yeah, there we go.
Oh,
so you're just one year younger than me then, yeah.
But
okay.
Still, finally.
Yeah, we have a nice club.
Yeah.
Okay. So then you understand. Yeah.
Oh,
you were with the phones with the cords, pagers. Yes. Yeah, the mall was the popular thing. Okay. Finally,
are you kidding? Yeah, didn't get internet until I was in college, so
First CD in 1994, 30 years ago.
I like it where
94? Wait, what was
CD.
it?
What was my CD? It's so embarrassing. It was the soundtrack to a movie called Dream Lover, starring James Spader and Machen Amick. It was just the score.
That is embarrassing.
I gotta have it.
My first CD ever was Live. Remember the alternative band Live? Lightning Crashes. That was my first CD ever.
So mine was, oh my goodness. Do you remember Pure Moods?
Yes!
Of course!
I had that.
Okay, those 3 CDs couldn't be any more different. Like, you put those 3Ds, they would all go in a bargain bin today.
I think I might still have my Pure Moods. And my brother used to make fun of me. He goes, what are you going to do with that?
I remember Pure Moods.
Yeah, sail away, sail away.
Yes.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. We're old. Okay.
That is true.
Yeah, because the music that we listen to is now classics. It's sad.
Yeah.
Merry Christmas.
Yeah, okay. Back to the movie. Okay. So this is a dark comedy. I don't know how. I didn't laugh at all.
Oh, really? Even with all the eyeball stuff?
I was laughing not because it was funny. I was like, this is ridiculous. I was like, what's all these eyeballs for?
It does have a fascination with eyeballs.
There's the cattiness between the sorority girls I kind of laugh at, like that I feel like is kind of funny because they're all at the beginning when they're sitting around playing Secret Santa and they're kind of like taking jabs at each other,
And Andrea Martin's like, language.
By the way, did you recognize Andrea Martin, who plays the house mother in the 2006 movie, was one of the sorority girls in the original film? It was a cool little she played a different character because she got killed in the original, but it was just a cool little tie-in.
Well, I didn't recognize her face, but I did notice her name. I was like, okay. I didn't recognize. I was looking at her face. I was like, man, time really flew. But but I did recognize some other girls, which I realized some of them just are not good actresses or something.
Which ones?
Why are you laughing?
No, I'm laughing because no. There's so many funny cast members. This movie was everyone in this movie had either been in another horror movie at the time or was a teen.
They were on a very hot TV show at the time. Like Michelle Trachtenberg, was on Buffy.
Yeah.
Lacey was on Party of Five.
Yeah. Mary Elizabeth Winston was in a Final Destination movie. Katie Cassidy was in the Nightmare on Elm Street remake later.
So yeah, because I didn't look up anything. I just went straight for it first before I started looking at, things about it. And Mary, who plays Heather, they had a dialogue exchange, and one was like, "Oh, your boyfriend, what did you say? Your roller coaster relationship or something like that, or boyfriend?" And I was like, "Wait a minute, when did this come out?" I was like, okay, because she was in Final Destination 3, where it was the roller coaster. I was like, who threw that in there and why?
You know what? It's because it was on purpose because Glenn Morgan wrote Final Destination 3 also. So he had that relationship with her. And it's just funny because only people like you and us who know all these horror movies would catch that line and be like, oh shit, she was also in Final Destination 3.
I don't know what direction they gave her, but she wasn't that good in this. I don't know. It just seemed her character was so odd. It was forced, and I was like, well, that's not how she was in Final Destination. I didn't watch the TV shows that half these people were in. It just wasn't my thing. But I only seen Lacey. Was it Chabert or whatever you say?
Chabert? Is it?
That sounds right.
Chabert?
Okay.
Sherbert?
Who played? Was it Donna or something? I don't know. But she was so still Mean Girls.
Yes.
The way she was talking and acting, I was like, girl, when did Mean Girls come out? Because it just
2004.
It just felt like she was still. Well, she played Gretchen, right?
Yeah, Gretchen Wiener.
She was still there.
You know that today she does Hallmark movies times 200.
She's done 34?
So every role she's in is very clean cut, perfect rom-com. So it's actually funny watching her in this movie and Mean Girls because she's kind of sassy because literally all you'll find her in today is Hallmark movies.
I like that she has that foundation of being in this really gross horror film and then making 34 very clean ones.
Oh God, yeah.
But I've heard those Hallmark movies be making bank if you could stomach acting in them.
I mean,
that's what I've heard.
I would do it in a heartbeat.
There's got to be a reason that they get the same people that are in all of them. I have a feeling they're probably easy to make and they probably pay good money. So,
yeah. I still wouldn't do it though.
I feel like the people who write those movies, I feel like AI could probably write them now, because you just put in Hallmark formula, couple, person comes home from the big city, meets love interest, kiss at the end, and it'll just do the script for you.
Well, I would love for that to happen in real life.
Exactly.
I'm still waiting. But that's another segment. Anyway,
that's another podcast.
Yeah. So this, okay. Oh my goodness. So this opens up. It opens up kind of similar to the 74. I mean, it's kind of parallel a little bit, next to each other. Girls sitting in the living room, but the girl upstairs alone, trying to figure out. I guess she was putting some presents together, packing, whatnot. she hears a noise. I would have left. I would see, as much as I watch horror movies and much as I love them, I never stay around. So if I heard something moving in the closet, I'm not going to say, "Oh, that's the vent on the floor." I'm going to be downstairs and say, "Hey, something is weird. Go check it out," because I'm not going to do it.
Yeah,
So,
especially if you have like 10 other people. And that what's so scary about that is that like there's girls in the rooms all next to her, all downstairs, and the killer gets her and there's people around. You think like, yeah, if she had just gone downstairs and said, "Hey guys, can you come look at this with me?" But I guess she didn't think it was anything
And
major.
they also do pay a little homage.
Homage, yeah.
Homage. And it's like they put the thing over her face and then stick the pen in her eyeball. So it's like we'll have a touch of the first and then add another extra element to it.
And that's the thing. The thing about this movie, even though Tim and I kind of love this, as ridiculous as it is, they take gore to like level 10, because just getting like plastic wrapped around your face, that's scary enough. It worked in the original. But then they have to have the killer constantly carving their eyes out. And I guess that works for some people.
I think it's a brilliant opening because then it cuts to Black Christmas.
Yeah, it's a powerful opening. It's very gory, and it's just very different from the 1974
Well, it's setting
one.
the tone like, hey, that old film, we're gonna make it crazy.
Yeah.
But you know what? I was looking at the doors. Did you guys pay attention to the doors with the people names on there?
No.
I did see Clark Sanitarium named after Bob Clark. I don't know if I saw the names on the doors.
Okay, so the doors were the orderly or whoever, he was passing them food through the door. One was, I think I wrote it a little differently. It was H.C. Conico Jr. That was door 19. And then I wonder if there are people names because the third door said Richard Steinmetz, but that's an actor's name. That's a real actor. So I don't know if they're like friends or family and they're just adding names on the doors. Because I was like, it got to be, because the way the camera was moving, like you can actually see the names. I was like, it means something. It has to mean something. But
that's a detail I never picked up.
We've never caught that. I always just see Clark Sanitarium and I'm like, oh yeah, Bob Clark. But I don't think I've ever looked at those names.
Yeah, because I didn't look up the other ones. I just looked up one. I was like, okay, I get it. But
yeah, I wonder if he was friends with Glenn Morgan or someone on the crew or something, you know?
Yeah. There were some interesting things about this that was weird. Okay, when the security guard was sitting over there and he was like, Billy tries to escape every year. But I'm like, so why would you open the door to go check out Billy? Like, I was like, that makes no sense. I was so mad. I had to press pause. Because I was like, why would you do that?
It's almost like it's the same thing that I always joke about in Halloween movies when they always are transporting Michael Myers the night before Halloween. I'm just like, maybe transport him in April. You know,
I like that he has Christmas lights in his room.
Yeah, but that's the thing with Billy in this movie. If you know he's going to try to escape, either have like 20 security guards on him that night or don't open the door that night. Like he can, just be
the one night of the year.
The one night that you think he's going to escape. I just think it's so funny. But I always think about Halloween when I think about that kind of stuff. It's like, don't move him the day before Halloween.
but also, how did he get the candy cane? Did they
I think it was on the tray, yeah. And then I thought that was a really cool weapon because he made it sharp.
Oh yes. Oh yeah, he sucked it down and made it into a blade.
Yeah.
Negligence. That place was pure negligence. Oh,
it was a Christmas treat.
Also, like the creepy Santa they hired, that was coming in there. That
hitting on nurses.
Everything about that place was creepy, and I'm not talking to patients.
Well, we didn't even get to the real creepy part. That was creepy, but the creepy part, when it did a flashback to the family, 1970, when Billy was born. Okay. That baby was yellow. It should have been in a hospital getting some treatment. It had some terrible liver disease, jaundice, galore. The mom was no joke. She's sitting over there just disgusting her own child. I even wrote down something that she said to Billy that I was like, damn. When I guess it's 75 now, and he was at the tree with his dad, and she was like, there's no Santa. He was, what was he? He was killed by the Russians. I was like, and then he was like, glaring.
Yeah, worst mother of the year.
Yes, and doesn't she like crush an ornament over his little? There's a lot.
Oh yeah, over his bed.
Yeah, there's a lot of darkness from that mother, that whole family. Well, actually, the dad was kind of cute.
Every time I watch this, I always feel bad for the original dad because of what happens to him, and because he actually tried to care for Billy.
The mom had to move on. She was having an affair.
So kill him.
Yeah.
And then, Billy watching the whole thing, I was like, that's messed up. Because at first I thought it was the mom. I like him and the mom, and I was like, man, she's really tussling. Like, I'm like, wow. But then you see her feet. She's still sitting in a chair, and obviously somebody then came in. But at first I thought it was her. But okay, it gets crazy. So I'm trying to figure out when Agnes was in the house, and then the flashback, was she always in the house?
I think that Agnes is the first killer that was in the house that killed the girl in the opening, and Billy comes in later after he escapes from the mental institution. But there is a lot of like
loopholes.
Well, yeah, and also because when you watch it, now that you've already seen it, it's like, oh, of course there were more than one killer because Billy hadn't escaped yet. But when you're watching it the first time, it is a little confusing. Like, what timeline are we on? Who's in the house, and is the mental institution the past or the present? So it is kind of confusing.
And they do a good job, like with the red herrings. Like at one point, you actually think one of the girls is the killer because they
Eve.
Yes, yeah. Eve, the girl they closed up on her face. And by the way, this movie has a lot of close-ups, and all the girls are gorgeous. Yeah. But she's got like the glasses, and she's being so suspicious.
And she has all the newspaper articles in her room about the Billy's history. So immediately it's like, okay, red herring,
He escapes and gets locked in the attic. Billy as a youngin'. I'm guessing this was 80. See the timeline. Was it 82 when he was staying in the attic? And then the mom got bored of her boyfriend and decided to go up in the attic. I was done. I was like, nah. And then with her, he was just rocking. His feet all you see his feet, and she stood in front of him. And when that gown or whatever hit the floor, I was like, you lying. You lying.
It is so shocking.
Yeah, the incest takes it to a whole nother level. Like the fact that she's basically gonna have sex with her young preteen kid,
and have then Agnes,
and then she has a baby that's Billy's daughter/sister.
Yes. And it said 9 months later.
Yeah. But by the way, can I just tell one quick little funny story about this scene?
Yes. Go ahead.
My nephew, Bix, who loves horror, he's 10 years old, and he's finally able to watch his parents, my sister, let him watch R-rated movies that like have violence in them, but they don't want him to see like the sex stuff. We watched This Black Christmas with him. And when it got to that scene and the mom like drops the nightgown and then, you don't really see what happens. It's suggested. He turns to me and says, "What's she doing?" Now, what am I supposed to say to that? And
I was actually in the room, and I couldn't have been more uncomfortable.
And I just said like, what did I say? I didn't explain
I don't think you really answered.
I was like, like something weird. And I was like, just move on.
Well, he'll find out later.
Yeah.
But okay, that was that. I'm glad it was implied, but it was still gross.
Oh yeah.
And then I guess he was up there for a very long time. I guess he got upset. I guess the mom was trying to make amends or something. I don't know. And he was like, "I'm over it." And then he attacked Agnes, and he took her eye out. Now I was like, why was she? Well, Agnes looked funny. When she was trying to give her gifts, I was like, something not right with Agnes. Like,
Yep.
poor thing. She looked like something was wrong with her. But when he took Agnes' eye out, and I thought she was a goner, but then the cops came, she lived, and he done messed up his mom and whatever. But the thing is, that was puzzling to me. Why would Agnes help him after ripping her eye out? Like,
I think she doesn't know any better, and the only person she probably ever came in contact with was the horrible mother and her brother. So I think it's just out of love.
So my only thoughts out of love, my only thoughts are Agnes, like her whole life just wanted family. That's why, as Killer Agnes, she's always like, you're all my family now. And all she has witnessed in her life was Billy killing her family. So in a weird way, she thinks killing people is what you do to family members. Because remember at the end when they set all the dead bodies up and she says, they're all my family. Like, I think she's just really messed up in the head.
And she likes to make eyes as ornaments.
Yeah, of course. Doesn't everyone?
I do.
It was the skin cookies for me.
Yeah, that scene is rough.
That's tough to watch, not gonna lie. I always get a little nauseated.
Well, I mean, the mother she was a horrible person, I'm not saying, but that scene of Billy taking the mom out with what is this called?
The roller and then the cookie.
Yes, it was a lot. It was not just like a quick death scene. It was like dragged out.
And the chewing sounds when he's chewing on their
skin. And it was up close. Like,
yes.
It's like, oof, God, I'm feeling nauseous. Actually,
I'm getting hungry.
Hey, Tim, you want some Christmas cookies?
Absolutely.
Well, the girls, I didn't like none of them.
Tell us how you really feel.
I care for none of them. I was like, I hope they all die. Like, I didn't care. Like, I don't know. Like, none of them were. I don't know what direction they were given. I don't know.
What about Goldie Hawn's son, Oliver Hudson? Were you rooting for him?
That was him. Wait, is he the Kyle?
Yeah, he's the guy. The boyfriend, but who had the sex tape with the other girl.
I know. And the girl was watching it and he was trying to hide it. So that whole time he was in the room watching the sex tape with the other girl. And he was like, don't go in there. I didn't look for her. It's like, ew, you nasty.
I gotta tell you, my favorite character, and I feel like, Tim, you probably agree, was Lee, Kristen Cloak, the older sister that arrived with her big, flashy fur coat, and is just like a no-nonsense New York girl. Like, I liked her.
It was a nice added element that was not in the first one, with like a returning sister.
Yeah, and she kind of someone who would just put people in their place. I liked her.
And she was all right.
We loved her.
She was all right. The only reason I was like hoping for Mary Elizabeth Winstead, I guess, because I love The Thing. Like, I'm the Thing franchise. So obviously she was in the 2011 one. So I was like, okay, let's see where she's coming from. This wasn't a good one. No. I don't know what happened between Final Destination and
they didn't give her much to do.
Yeah, that's the thing. Her part was kind of, it was just like the uptight rich girl.
Yeah, like she didn't want to get out of the car and scrape off the ice.
Yeah, she was kind of the overprivileged rich girl, but you don't see her death. It's just like an explosion in the car. Like, what did Billy do?
Billy's eye when the lady was scraping, it was like...
But like,
she's like, hey.
But what did he do to her to make her explode?
I'm guessing he shoved an icicle through her brains.
Like what happened to that? What's her name? That older lady, Barbara.
Miss Mac. Yeah,
such a sad death. I was like, jeez. She goes outside. She falls to the garage, and then it was like.
What I want to know is, can an icicle really do that? Because
I think so.
I actually agree. I think it could.
That's terrifying.
If it was sharp enough, I think it could get you pretty good.
I feel like nobody in this sorority had gone into this attic in God knows how long. Like, I mean, like, this attic was there. They're all acting like, oh, we have an attic.
I'm just
like
surprised
they just didn't.
This movie took place on Christmas Eve, right?
Yeah, like why weren't these girls with their families?
Right, like they were all leaving so late.
And yeah, some of them are leaving for Christmas on Christmas Eve, and I'm in a snowstorm. But yeah, a lot of them, I kind of felt bad because I'm like, do you have any family members
Well,
you're
I
supposed to
thought
be
the
with?
blonde, what was her name in the movie? Katie
Kelly,
Cassidy.
the final girl.
Yeah,
Yeah.
she was gorgeous, but she was somewhat likable and she somewhat cared about the other girls, whereas all the other girls were just kind of persnickety and they weren't exactly sisters.
Yeah, they cared about themselves, whereas I felt like Kelly. You know who else I liked? Michelle Trachtenberg, because
she
she
was
took
pretty
care
helpful.
of her drunk sister.
Oh yeah. What?
And I didn't like
Was she drunk or did she get sick? Because I've had some drinks and I never threw up like that.
Her barfing scene was gross.
She had been doing shots and drinking lots of wine and probably who knows how long. I think she was drunk.
I don't recommend drinking shots and drinking wine. That's my advice.
You're like, or you're gonna be showering naked while someone watches you through a little hole in the shower, like he did.
No, on the ground, like you could see him picking at the tiles on the ground. I'm like, well, how thin are these walls? Like, this is just crazy. I was more looking at the architecture of this place. Because even when they were like, she had, what was her character? Lee. Was it Lee? I think it's Lee.
Oh, yes. Are you talking about when she had the weight and she was breaking through the wall? I said that to Matt too. I was like, impossible.
Okay. Now, there was one scene that just, okay, by this time, everybody was like half dead or dead. And then we have Lee, Kelly, and Kyle. I thought Kyle had something to do with it, but no. And they're all upstairs with Agnes. 3 of them could not take down Agnes. I was like, nah, this is too much.
I agree. There was just a lot of screaming.
I always wonder that when there's like, you're like, how come they couldn't? I mean, think about every Child's Play movie. Like, how can you not take on a doll? But I guess the only thing I could say is maybe they were all so
just
shocked,
so scared. There's a tree with eyeballs.
Hey, they saw all their dead friends, so they're probably like shocked and whatever. But yeah, you're like, a guy and 2 girls couldn't take on this former mental patient who hasn't been out for long.
I mean, Agnes was played
by
a
buff,
man.
though.
Yeah,
she was pretty buff. Yeah, she was doing some weightlifting in the psychiatric hospital
with her one eye.
Yeah.
And then here is like when Kyle, before all that happened, Kyle was up there. He was like, that you don't have a sister. When he told that to Kelly, you don't have a sister. And then Lee was like, she does now.
I mean, I will say at the end, and not to jump forward, but like when they're in the hospital and have bonded more because they had survived or thought they survived, I kind of get the bond they'd have after getting through the incident. But at that point, they were still right in the middle of it. So I'm like, you barely know each other.
Well, they didn't know they were still in it because who knew that the third act would be in the hospital. But prior they had bonded because she literally pulled her out of a wall.
But when she said she has a sister to Kyle, she hadn't pulled her out of the wall yet.
That's true.
Yeah. That happened after Kyle got killed. Poor Kyle and everyone who got their eye ripped out. And it's like the longest, whatever that is called. Veins? Are they veins? It's like,
man,
yeah.
I'm not a doctor.
Hey, Tim, can you look at my eyes, my retinas?
Yeah. No. I'm going to pull it out as soon as this is over.
Okay, there was one scene that I thought was pretty interesting. Like, I was like, okay, that is kind of creepy. I give him that. It's when they were in the wall and Kelly was in there, and then you have Agnes at the bottom, and then you have Billy coming from the top, climbing down and coming up. I was like, if I was in that situation, there's only one thing that would have happened. I would have just defecate on myself. They would have ran from me. There is no way.
That's amazing.
Because it's like you have nowhere to go, and you have this buff lady with one eye coming from the top, cry, and then you got one climbing down with extra yellow skin, and you're stuck. I mean, yeah, it would have been just a massive load coming.
Just a load of shit everywhere.
I never thought I was going to hear that today, but I'm glad I did.
Yeah, I mean, now I'm going to have to rethink what I do if a killer comes after me.
I would freeze.
Yeah, what's what's so funny about this movie is that I always found Agnes so much scarier than Billy. Like, Billy just looks like an angry guy, but Agnes looks creepy, really creepy. It's something about the eye and the long, weird, stringy hair, and it's like a buff woman, but it's not like it's just she's just very creepy.
I think Billy's creepy too, but it's
yeah,
I
he almost
can see where
glows in the
from.
dark.
Yeah, I thought that was an interesting choice. I like it.
Yeah,
I think you should be Billy for Halloween, Tim.
Oh my gosh, maybe I will.
Yellow with pajamas.
Okay, now explain this to me. Maybe you guys have a better way with this. Maybe I missed something. How in the hell did Billy and Agnes end up at the morgue alive? There is no way they were in those bags and no one checked to see if they were dead. I was like,
good point.
I mean, only thing I can say is probably the same way Michael Myers was alive in the bag in H2O.
You know, Resurrection, right?
Yeah, well, in H2O.
No, that was another person though.
Oh yeah, because I'm taking the original H2O, not after Resurrection when they say it's a what's it called?
Ambulance driver.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
To be honest, it's almost like one of those things you just have to like.
I didn't even think about it until you brought it to my attention.
But you're right. How could both of them? I mean, EMTs will take your pulse and make sure you're alive or dead. So unless they're really good at faking that, not sure.
And then they climb up to the ceiling. How'd they know what room she was in?
Agnes is great at locating Kelly in the hospital. She knows exactly the room to drop into.
I thought Katie Cassidy Kelly was so good in the hospital scenes. I thought her acting was on point.
I felt bad for Lee because it's almost like you make it through the whole house disaster and then you get killed in the hospital. Like, it was just such a letdown because she made it so far and then dead in the hospital.
It was like an instant neck snap. I was like, the first thing I was like, this is lame. Like, it just does. What? Why? I mean, she survived falling through the floor and then he grabs your neck and then, well, was it she?
It was Agnes. Agnes with her buff Agnes.
And then just snapped her neck like that. I was like, man, what a way to go. But Kelly was smart because you already knew something bad was going to happen. When the nurse couldn't get out the door, she was like, oh, I wish they fixed this door. I was like, as soon as I was watching her do that, I was like, I think I'm going to get another room. Like, this is not going to happen here. I'm out. And
it was a nice red herring.
But it's so funny. Like, of course, the door to her room doesn't open. Of course.
No one in those halls.
Yeah. Well, except for the carolers downstairs, even though it's probably 4 a.m. by this point. Like, yeah.
But I just thought, okay, she wasn't just screaming and she actually used those like defibrillator, that whatever, to crank it up to do. I was like, okay, that's smart. I think I would have thought of that. I was like, okay, use that to like clear, mess
They used that in Dr. Giggles
and Scream 4.
Yes, both.
Scream 4 took that 5 years later, so they took it from Black Christmas.
That's right.
Okay.
But we'll never know.
The most ridiculous thing I've ever seen in this entire film is when Billy, why nobody see him or stop him? He's running through the hospital, knocking down the orderly, grabbed some kind of blade.
Scalpel.
Nobody stopped him. Like, no one. Where's everybody? And they were there. No, no.
Nobody
it's Christmas,
helped.
They're short-staffed.
Well, we always talk about that too. Poor Kelly is like running for her life. He's tripping her and everything, and not one person is jumping in to help her. Not one.
And it's not like it's empty because the orderly or somebody was there giving medicine. There was a nurse too. Yeah. There were some people there, and no one helped her.
Yep, no one helped her. She had to throw him off the balcony herself. And boy, like, Merry Christmas. He lands right on the top of the Christmas tree.
What did you think of that?
I thought that was a really good kill. Like, out of all of them, I thought that was the best one. I was like, that's a good one. He
on the
got it.
Christmas tree.
I almost feel like they brainstormed like Christmas-related kills. It's like candy cane, falling on the top of a Christmas tree.
But it was cool because there was guts.
Yeah. You get to see the intestines. I was like, good job. Because the rest of the movie was, I mean, it wasn't bad. I've seen worse, but it was just
not your favorite.
So you're not going to put this on your Christmas watch list every year?
Well, no. My Christmas movie is Krampus.
So you like the more creature horror for Christmas?
Yeah, Krampus, and then what was it? Oh my goodness,
Gremlins?
No,
Silent Night, Deadly Night?
No, Christmas Vacation.
Oh,
okay.
comedy. Yes.
Those are the two that I watch every year.
Got it.
So.
I think
Good choices.
We watch Black Christmas 1974, Black Christmas 2006, Silent Night, Deadly Night. We're big slasher people, obviously.
Yeah.
Are there other Christmas movies we watch every year? Christmas
that's
horror.
It. That's it.
Christmas Evil? No, we haven't watched.
No, we're not big on that one.
Yeah.
What about was it Bloody Christmas Bloody or Christmas Bloody Christmas?
The one that came out with the robots.
Yeah.
That was tough. That was tough on me.
That was interesting. It was we were excited about it.
I like the title. And that's it.
What did we just watch that I thought was fun?
Oh.
So ridiculous. Secret Santa.
Oh, Secret Santa, who was directed by Adam Marcus, who directed Jason Goes to Hell. It's very, very
soapy.
It's dark and soapy.
Like a family where everyone hates each other and goes nuts. You know, like yeah.
Have you heard of Secret Santa? It's on Tubi, I think.
Mm-mm.
You might want to check it out. I don't know if I give it my full blessing.
Have you seen that one Christmas movie with David? Is it Harper?
Yes, Violent Night. Yes, we reviewed
you know
it.
What?
Yeah.
Some people had their opinions about it, but I actually thought it was pretty cool that he had powers, but he was just like a drunk. Like he was
we liked it, didn't we?
I liked it.
It's like an action movie. I mean, it's like action horror, but it almost like had elements of Home Alone
or
if it
Bad
were
Santa.
like an R-rated Bad Santa type Home Alone.
Yeah, but I really did like he just wasn't this Santa fighting. He actually had like almost like powers, almost like he in his like bag, and I don't know.
Yeah.
I only watched
it was
it
fun.
once.
It was fun.
Yeah, it was fun. Okay, don't really hear about it.
I mean, I think it did well at the box office, and ironically enough, we saw it with Joe Bandelli.
Yeah, we saw it with Joe Bandelli. Funny enough, our friend in common.
See, I'm so jealous. Everybody gets to watch movies with Joe.
We'll go with you.
Yeah, we'll see horror movies with you. Are you kidding? Let's start with Black Christmas 2006. Favorite recent horror movie viewing experience at a theater was when we went to see The Substance. The last 20 minutes of that movie, watching with an audience, is the best experience I've had in years because everybody laughing, sounding disgusted.
People walked out.
Some people walked out. People being just shocked. Like the insanity that went on during the insanity in that movie in the last 20 minutes in the audience was just like so worth going to a packed theater.
Oh, wow. I still haven't seen it.
Oh, you got to see The Substance.
There's still time. It's not 2005 yet.
But
2005.
I mean, 2025.
Whoa! It's not 2005 yet. We're going.
And the sad part, I did hear you say that, and I was about to agree.
You know what? You're right. It is definitely not 2005 anymore.
Because the movie we're talking about
wouldn't have come
next
out.
Year.
Yeah.
Oopsie.
But I have some friends that's like, you have to see it because they know I love The Thing. And they said, there's some things in there that you would like because you like the movie The Thing. Yeah, I still need. I haven't seen Long Legs. There's a lot. And I have a day job. So, a regular job. So it makes
9
it tough.
to 5.
What a way to make a lit. Yeah, no, again, I mean, if we're not reviewing a movie for our podcast, oftentimes we'll miss it or I'll miss it. Like it took me forever to see Speak No Evil because we didn't review it on the podcast. And I was like, but wait, I want to see it. And then I finally
I saw it
watched
with Adam. I was like, listen, Matt, I can't wait around forever.
Yeah.
Did you see both?
Yes. I watched the 2022 one before the 2024. So the Danish one. So I knew what it was about, but I knew the American version would change a lot, which it did.
I didn't see this. I didn't see the remake, but I did see the first one, and I interviewed Christian in Mass.
Oh,
Taft Drop. Yeah.
that's awesome.
For ShoutoutLA, this thing I used to do for 3 years, where I used to dedicate an entire month of January to Shudder exclusive and original content.
Wow,
Oh, that's cool.
Check it out.
What? Wait, do you still do it?
I stopped a year ago.
Oh,
but I did it for 3 years. The first time was live on Instagram. The second time they were both on. They're both on my YouTube.
Okay.
And it was directors, producers of the TV, whatever show, and then the ones that I didn't get for that, then content creators, YouTubers, or whatever, they pick a movie of a Shudder exclusive or original. So the first time it was 12. The second time I did it, it was popular, and I had 18 guests.
Oh my God.
And I would start in December recording them. So then I could put them out in January 4th, and every 2 days there was a video.
That's amazing.
I mean, we love Shudder. Shudder has some good content. I mean, they do.
I think the movies are quite different than they are.
Well, hopefully Shudder will keep putting out new stuff. I mean, they
2005's around the corner.
2005. I can't wait for the new year so we can go back in time in 20 years.
Yeah. Well, somebody did ask me, was I going to do it again? Was I going to do it this year for next year? And I said, no. But then I said, you know what? I'm thinking about doing Screenbox TV, and I did it in a clever way, and then somebody from Screenbox said, yeah, we would love if you did that. So I don't know, it could be Screenbox. So.
I mean, I don't have Screenbox, but I constantly see ads for Screenbox exclusive. So now I'm like, I think maybe I need to get Screenbox.
You know, I don't even have Screenbox.
Well, you may have to get it.
That's too funny.
That's funny. But yeah, because they're kind of, I always thought, like, what's Screenbox? What do they have? But they are starting to have a lot of stuff. Yeah,
they started to pick up. So it's Shudder's competition, I guess. I know we're just all in this together. So horror is tough enough. So, but okay. I would say, what are you guys' overall thoughts? But you guys liked the movie.
I loved it.
Yeah, I mean, I was saying at the beginning, the 1974 Black Christmas is my favorite above this one by far. It's one of my favorite horror movies of all. But I really enjoy this one because it's just one of those, like, fun,
it's
ridiculous, fast-paced, entertaining horror movies. Like, we always say this on the podcast, where sometimes a movie, it may not be like the best quality, but if it's fun and enjoyable.
I think all the girls are really glossy. I mean, every shot they're in, it looks like they're ready for like a magazine cover. So I enjoy that.
I mean, that's not why I enjoy it. I just enjoy it because it's like a fun, ridiculous slasher. A lot of killings. I don't need all the crazy gore, but I enjoy it.
Oh, I need it.
Yeah, I enjoy it, and I just think it's just a very different from 1974, but enjoyable for different reasons.
Okay.
I think I know your thoughts.
So, what are your overall thoughts?
Well, I did say it, but I guess you guys didn't hear me. It was all right.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I was kidding because
No, it was okay. I don't know. I didn't like any of the characters. Well, Lee, she was alright. The sister with the attitude, like, I'm looking for my sister. Okay, but she was alright. But everybody else, I really didn't care. The eyeballs, I was like, why is all these eyeballs? The only creepy thing, fun, like I just said, like in the walls. If I got stuck in the wall, I get it. But it was all right.
I think more people probably agree with you. That's why it has like a 14% on Rotten Tomatoes, something like that.
I think it's on the verge, or if it's not already a cult classic. I believe that. I think it was more receptive as the 2019 one was, for sure.
Well, I think maybe in 2026 we'll have 20-year anniversary screenings.
Yeah, we'll be there, and we're gonna drag you.
Yeah, we're dragging you to come with us. You.
We're taking you to the theater.
We're taking you to the 2026 20-year anniversary screening.
You're going to have to tie me down and put toothpicks.
We'll take your eyes out and take you.
Take the eyes out. You're my family now.
Agnes.
Jeez. But I want to say thank you so much for joining me on this talking about Black Christmas 2020. Wait, oh my God, 2006.
Yes.
Thank you for having us. This has been so much fun. Yeah, we had a blast. It's fun. And it's fun talking sometimes with people who feel differently than you and hearing why. And then it's like, sometimes I'll hear it and I'll be like, yeah, you're right. That was really cringe. Or maybe, we can all share opinions, and it's fun. This was a lot of fun.
It was definitely a lot of fun. So before we go, please tell the viewers where they could find your work.
So you can find, Happy Horror Time, we have a website, happyhorrortime.com, and we're also on all the big streaming platforms like Apple and Pandora and Spotify and everywhere. And you can find us on social. We're on Instagram, Facebook, X, Blue Sky, and TikTok at Happy Horror Time. Tim, do you want to give them your individuals?
My individual one, at the Tim Murdock on Instagram and Blue Sky X.
Yeah, and I'm Maddie Brooks 116 on Instagram, because Brooks is my middle name. That's
why. And watch our little horror film called Come In if you want.
It's we did a short horror film. If you want to watch, also it's on YouTube. So if you go to our I didn't even tell people. Oh my God, I'm such an idiot. We also have a YouTube channel where we post a lot of the interviews and stuff. So you can search for Happy Horror Time on YouTube. And we did a short film called Come In. It's like a little slasher film. It's 15 minutes long.
I'm going to check that out.
Yeah, watch it before you go to bed.
Yeah. Let's hope you like it better than Black Christmas 2006.
Well, we'll see. If I do, then I'll maybe have you guys on here again for an interview.
Oh, well, thank you.
Sure.
And then we never hear from her again.
She goes, didn't like it. You'll never hear from me.
Delete.
Oh, that's terrible.
She's like, that's terrible.
Mm-hmm. But I want to thank you, Tim and Matt. Thank you so much for coming on here. And thank you, everybody, for joining me on this movie review, Black Christmas. Make sure you check it out. If you like more videos like this, make sure you subscribe, and don't forget to share. Thank you so much. And follow Happy Horror Time podcast. They're amazing. So until next time, everyone. Bye.
Bye. Thank you.